Hello everyone, a very good evening all of you and a very warm welcome to you all to the India's largest live learning platform, that is BYJU'S Exam Prep. Can you guys hear me? Please do let me know if I'm audible and visible to everyone so that we can start. It is already a little late, so let us start at the earliest. Please do let me know through the comment section. Kiran, welcome. So as you can see, this is the part of 60 mark series which is running on BYJU'S YouTube channel for English students. And today the topic will be forecasting. We will discuss some beautiful numericals from the forecasting. So as you all know, forecasting is an important aspect of any industry practices. Not only that, uh, it is having very high weightage in terms of appearing in GATE examination. Questions are most frequently asked from forecasting method. It is small topic, but it is one of the important topics of industrial engineering. All right. So please guys do settle down fast so that we can start. This is my quick introduction for those who are attending the session for the very first time. Let us proceed further. You can always connect with me through the Telegram group. I will share the PDF of this session also on my Telegram group. The link is mentioned over the screen. Keep your pen, notebook and calculator and try to solve the numericals on your own and share your answer through the comment section. And very important announcement. You guys must already be familiar with that. We are about to start a very beautiful series, most expected. Yes, please note the top 500 plus most expected questions from all of your mechanical engineering subject which might appear in your actual GATE examination. The concept or the difficulty level will be at par with the actual GATE standard. All right, the series is going to start from 13th December. And one more important series we are going to start, that is, most of the students are having trouble in memorizing the formula. So many students keep on asking how to memorize the formula. So you need to check your memory before your actual examination, how much formula you remember and how much formula you need to memorize for your examination. So that testing will be very much important, and for that we are coming with unique series for all the GATE aspirants, that is formula memory test. It will be completely about the formula practice or about the remembering the formula, how to memorize the formula. So hi Malays, good evening, welcome. So that is also starting from 13th of December. And there are so many links given in the description. Yes, that is the biggest problem, Kiran. That is why we have brought. And if we write all the formula at single place, then also it becomes difficult to memorize them, right? That is the problem with each and every student. When I was the student, during my preparation, I was also having the same problem of memorizing the formula. So, and writing the formula at one place does not solve the purpose. So what you need to do is you need to check your memory first. How much formula you memorize, you remember, and how much formula you have forgotten. So once you get the clarity of that, then you need to work on those formula which you do not which you are not able to recall. There are formula which we think that we do not remember them, but whenever the question appears, we recall that formula. So sometimes it happens, most of the times it happens, we are afraid of the formula, but when the question comes from that particular formula, we are able to solve it, we recollect. So that will help. This series is going to help you to recollect the formula, and those formula which you are not able to recollect, then you need to work on those formula, right? So other than that, there is the scholarship test which we run from time to time, and there are workshops also. You can register for those workshops which are free, and the link is already there in the description box. So let us start solving the questions. The first question on the screen, I want you guys to give me the answer for. Quickly read the question and try to get me the answer. Which one of the following forecasting techniques is not suitable for making forecasts for planning production schedules in the short range? This is important, in the short range. So Delphi method is for long range forecasting. It is for long range, isn't it? Long range forecasting, 1+ years. If we want to do the forecasting is not only related with the industry, but also we always keep on forecasting our expected marks. And accordingly, to make it happen, we develop the strategy. So for long range forecasting, the method used is Delphi method. There are some more methods other than that. That is market survey, market trial, right? And what else? Judgmental method, These are for long range forecasting. For short range and medium range forecasting, these are the methods used. These are for medium or short range forecasting plus medium range. That is up to 1 year. Up to 1 year. Up to 1 year time period. All right. So option D is the right answer. What is the answer to the next one? Yes, Manas, Kiran, Kumar, well done. What about others? When using a simple moving average method to forecast demand, one would, what is the correct answer? If we talk about quantitative method, there are two types of quantitative method. One is for short range. For short range, that is 1 to 5 months or 1 to 3 months. That is short range. There are so many methods. That is called as time series model. One is simple average, simple moving average. Another is K point moving average. The third one is weighted moving average. And the fourth one is exponential smoothing method. Exponential smoothing. Right? So if it is about simple moving average method, let us say demand data D1, D2, D3, D4. For simple moving average, we will find out D1 plus D2 plus D3 plus D4 divided by 2. So equal weightage is given to all the demand data. Equal weightage is given to all the demand data. Assign more weightage to the recent demand data, that is exponential smoothing or weighted moving average. This happens in weighted moving average. So assign more weightage to the recent demand data and include the new demand data in the average after discarding some of the earlier demand data. So the weightage given to the previous data is very small, that is exponential smoothing method. So option A is the right answer. Equal weightage to the all demand data. Yes, Mohit, Kumar, well done. The next question. Which of the following forecasting method takes a fraction of the forecasting error into account for the next period forecast? Error comes into picture in the forecasting of the next period. Which method? These are the time series model. For short range forecast. So in exponential smoothing method, the forecasting for n+1 period is equal to forecasting of nth period plus alpha dn minus fn. dn minus fn. So this dn minus fn is called as error. What is error? Error is equal to D minus F. D minus F. That is called as error. So error comes into picture is exponential smoothing method. I have already told you simple average method. D1 plus D2 plus D3 plus D4 by 4. Moving average method. If we want to find out 2-point moving average method, then we will say D3 or D4 plus D3 by 2. Weighted moving average, it means the weights are assigned to different demand data. For an example, if 70% is weightage or 60% weightage is given to fourth data, then 30% weightage is given to second data, third data, then 10% weightage is given to third data. So it will be 0.6 into D4 plus 0.3 into D3 plus 0.1 into D2. This will be the weighted moving average. And in simple and in exponential smoothing method, the error comes into picture. Error is considered for the forecasting of the next demand. The next one, which one of the following is not? Sometimes students forget or students do not read this note. Which one of the following is not a technique of long range forecasting? Delphi is a technique for long range forecasting. For long range forecasting, collective opinion or the expert's opinion is a method of long range forecasting. Market research and market survey, these are for long range. That is 1 plus years. These are the methods for long range forecasting. It is the correlation and regression. That is causal model for medium range forecasting. That is for medium range forecasting. That is 3 to 12 months. D is the answer, which is not a technique of long range forecasting, isn't it? D will be the answer. Which one of the following methods of forecasting can be used for forecasting when a demand pattern is consistently increasing or decreasing? When a pattern is consistently increasing or decreasing, it can be showing some trend. It means it is showing some trend. It means it is having a trend line. The demand is showing some trend, or it is called as trend line method or regression analysis or regression analysis. A is the answer. Regression analysis or trend line method for medium range forecasting, or we can call it as causal model. What we do is, whenever the demands are showing some trend, then we form a line or we draw a line which is passing through most of the demand data. That is called as trend line. That is called as trend line. This is the demand and this is the period. So that is what happens in trend line method. Yes, Mohit, coming. Numericals will be coming. These are little warm-up question and then we will move to the numericals. Theoretical questions are equally important because most dangerous are theoretical questions actually. Students are not able to find out the correct answer. They get confused. In numerical, it is formula based. Whether you know the formula or not, accordingly you will solve the question. But theoretical question, always the student are having biased opinion. Which one of the following statements is correct? It is MCQ. The question is MCQ. Time series analysis technique of forecast is used for very long range forecasting. That is not correct. For very long range forecasting, it is the qualitative method or subjective method. For very long range forecasting, it is the qualitative method or subjective method. Qualitative technique, that is the subjective method, are used for long range forecasting. That is correct. And quantitative techniques. What is quantitative technique? Which uses previous period data. Previous period data. For short and medium range forecasting. B is the correct answer. Yes, B is the right answer. Coefficient of correlation is calculated in case of time series technique. No, coefficient of correlation is calculated in regression analysis, regression method, or we can call it as causal model. That is incorrect. Market survey and Delphi techniques are used for short range. No, they are used for long range. D is also incorrect. B is the correct answer. B will be the right answer. The next question, match the following. Find out the answer to the next one. Moving average. First, list 1 contains the methods. List 2 contains the practical application. Their practical application. Moving average is a forecasting method. List 1 represents the various methods. Methods with the problems. Yes. Line balancing is used in assembly. What is the answer? Economic bet size or economic order quantity is used in purchase of inventory. It is the method which is used in inventory. Johnson's algorithm is used in sequencing method. Sequencing. So it will be A3, B1, C2 and D4. 3, 1, 2, 4. D is the right answer. D will be the answer. Now there is the question on the screen. Next numerical question on the screen. Please find out the answer to this question. Everyone, please give it a try. It is given that the actual demand is 59 units. Okay. D for demand. Actual demand is denoted by D. So D is equal to 59 units. A previous forecast of 64 units. F is used for forecasted value. Forecast. F is the forecasted value. So F is previous forecast was 64 units, but the actual demand is 59. And a smoothing factor is 0.3. Alpha is equal to 0.3. What will be the forecast for the next period? So we can say Fn plus 1 is equal to Fn plus alpha Dn minus Fn. That will be the formula. So if we want to find out F2, that is F1 plus alpha into D1 minus F1. F1 is 64 plus alpha, that is 0.3 into D minus F. 59 minus 64 will give you the answer. How much you are getting? Are you getting option D? Mohit, are you getting option D or not? The next one. Yes, 62.5. The most commonly used criteria for measuring forecast error. Most commonly used criteria for measuring forecast error is what? When we talk about mean absolute deviation, what is mean absolute deviation? Take the absolute deviation, that is Di minus Fi. Take the absolute deviation and add all the absolute deviation and divide by n. That is called as mean absolute deviation. That is how we can find out the mean absolute deviation. N is the number of period. Number of period. Data period. Mean absolute percentage error. How to find out mean absolute percentage error? It is sigma. Sorry. What is mean absolute percentage error? Sigma of di minus fi upon di into 1 by n into 100. This is mean absolute percentage error. Mean square error is the most used criteria for measuring the forecasting. It is mean square error, MSE. How to find out the mean square error? Take the square of error and then take the average, divide by n. That is called as mean square error. That is commonly used in industry. That is commonly used in the industry. Mean square error, which magnifies the errors. I is equal to 1 to n. Now the next question. The next question on the screen. In a time series forecasting model, the demand for 5 time periods was 10, 13, 15, 18 and 22. This is the actual demand. These are the D values. A linear regression fit results in an equation. This is the trend line. F is equal to forecasted value is equal to 6.9 plus 2.9 into T, where F is the forecast for a period T. The sum of absolute deviation. What is the absolute deviation? When we talk about the absolute deviation, that is di minus fi. Take the absolute values of this, and then sum will be addition sigma. This is the sum of absolute deviation. So we need to find out the, first of all, we need to find out di minus fi. So if we talk about, there are 5 periods, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and demands are 10, 13, 15, 18 and 22. 10, 13, 15, 18 and 22. How to find out the forecasted value? F is equal to 6.9 plus 2.9 into T. This is T. So if you put T is equal to 1, what do you get? 6.9 plus 2.9. If you put the value T is equal to 1, can you solve it? For first period, for T is equal to 1, for T is equal to 1, it will be 9.8. For T is equal to 2, for T is equal to 2, what is the forecasted value? Will you get 12.7? For T is equal to 3, what is the forecasted value? That will be 15.6. For T is equal to 4, what will be the forecasted value? 18.5. And for fifth period, it will be 21.4. By using this regression line. And what is the error? If we find out the error, that is D minus F. So the first error will be 0.2 plus 0.2. The second, for the second period, the error will be plus 0.3. For the third period, the error is minus 0.6. For the fourth period, the error is minus 0.5. And for the fifth period, the error is plus 0.6. These are the error. But we want the absolute deviation. So what is sum of absolute deviation? So it will be, if we find it out, take the positive sign, make all of them as positive. 0.2 plus 0.3 plus 0.6 plus 0.5 plus 0.6 will be the answer. Isn't it? It is the absolute deviation, sum of absolute deviation. You should take the mode of error. It should be, you should take the mode of error. So the sum of absolute deviation will be equal to 2.2. Isn't it 2.2? Are you getting it 2.2 or not? So A will be the answer. Sum of absolute deviation. The next question. A company forecast the demand for a product to be 400 units per month for each of the forecasted value is 400 for each of the next 3 months. The actual demand, however, turned out to be 400, 550 and 580 units respectively for these 3 months. The first question says, what is the forecast error bias? What is the bias? Bias is equal to D minus F. That is called as bias. How much deviation is from the how much deviation is between forecasted value and the actual demand? So if we write about 4 period 1, 2, 3, there are three period demand data. The forecasted value is equal to 400. Sorry, forecasted value is 400. If we write this is n is the period. Draw the table 1, 2, 3, and demand will be equal to actual demand will be 400, 550 and 580. 580. And what is the forecasted value? 400, 400 and 400. 400, 400 and 400. These are the values given. Right? So what is bias? That is equal to D minus F. That is the bias. Here it will be 0. What is bias here? It will be 150. Then it will be, bias is actually mean forecast error. Bias is equal to mean forecast error. This is the error actually. Bias will be mean forecast error. This is error. D minus F. D minus F. Bias is equal to mean forecast error. And this will be 180. So what is the bias? Bias is equal to 0 plus 150 plus 180 divided by 3. What is the answer? 110 will be the answer. It will be 110. Bias is equal to mean forecast error. And if bias is positive, it is plus 110. If bias is positive, you can say if bias is positive, then the D is greater than F, isn't it? If bias is positive, D is greater than F. It means underestimation of forecasted value. Positive bias means underestimation of the forecasted value. Forecasted value. And if bias is negative, it means D is less than F, or we can call it as overestimation of forecasted value. Overestimation of forecasted value. So the answer to this question is plus 1110 units. The answer to the question is plus 1110 units. All right. The next part of the question says, the forecasting, this is the question, the data is the same. The forecasting technique used has a tendency to, how much is the percentage bias? So what is the average actual demand. So percentage bias is equal to bias divided by actual demand, or it is the average actual demand. Bias upon average demand into 100. So it is not over forecasting. It is not over forecasting. What is the correct answer? It will be under forecasting because bias is positive. So bias is 110, and what is the actual demand? What is the average actual demand? The actual demand is 400 plus 550 plus 580. That is the mean actual demand. Divide by 3. How much is that? Average demand. That is the average demand. How much it will be? 580 plus 550 plus 400 divided by 3. It is 510. 510. 510. So the average is 1110 upon 510 into 100. So it will be 21.56. It will be 21.56. So under forecast with 21.56% is bias. Option A. A will be the answer. Next question on your screen. In a forecasting model at the end of period 13, the forecasted value for period 14 is 75. So N is period, and we know actual value in the period 14 to 16 are constant at 100. It is exponential smoothing. So we can say Fn plus 1 is equal to Fn plus alpha Dn minus Fn. So the actual demand N is equal to 1, 2, 3 or 14, 15, 16. D is actual demand in the period 14 to 16 are constant 100, 100, 100. And for the period 14, the forecasted value is 75. Then we can find out the forecasted value for other period using the exponential smoothing method. The question says what is the mean square error? MSE means mean square error. So if we want to find out F15, then we will use F14 plus alpha, F14 minus D14. What is that? F14 is 75 plus alpha is equal to 0.5 into F14 minus D14. That is minus 25. What is the value? Are you getting 87.5 or not? How much is that? F minus D. F is 75, D is, sorry, it will be D minus F, na? It will be D minus F. Alpha into D14 minus F14. That is equal to 100 minus 75. 100 minus 75. So it will be 87.5. Isn't it 87.5? And for F16, that is F15 plus 0.5 into D15 minus F15. Put the values. F15 is 87.5 plus 0.5 into 100 minus 87.5. So it will be 93.75. Then error, that is d minus f. What is the error? In first, d minus f is plus 25. And what is the error? That will be plus 12.5. And what is the error in the third case? It is plus 6.25. These are the error. Now the MSE, mean square error. So take the square of all the error and then take the mean. What is MSE? So MSE, that is called as mean square error, is equal to di minus fi. That is the error. Take the square of error and then take mean. That will give you the answer. So if you take the square, then you will get 25 square plus 12.5 square plus 6.25 square divided by 3. That will give you the answer. That is MSE. What is the value of MSE? Are you getting 273.44 or not? 273.44. Isn't it? B is the answer. It will be B. It is mean square error. It should be divided by 30 also. We have to take the mean of a square error. Isn't it? The next one. The demand for a product in the month of March turned out to be 20 units against an earlier made forecast of 20 units. So March, this is the period, that is N. March means, let us say 1, then demand and forecast. The demand for a product in the month of March turned out to be 20 units and the forecasting is also 20 units. For then April, the actual demand for April and May turned out to be 25 and 26. April and May, that is 3 letters. Period 3. What will be the forecast for the month of June? June, that is 4. We need to find out F4. When the exponential smoothing coefficient is 0.2. Alpha is equal to 0.2. Can you solve it? So we can find out F2. F2 is equal to F1 plus alpha D2 minus F1. Sorry, D1 minus F1. D1 minus F1. So what is that? What is the value of F2? F1 is 20 plus alpha is 0.2, D1 minus F1 0. That is 20. It will be 20. What about F3? Is equal to F2 plus alpha D2 minus F2. Isn't it? How much you get? F2 is 20, alpha is 0.2, then 5 by 2, 2.5, 22.5. And then F4 can be calculated as F3 plus alpha D3 minus F3. That is how we can calculate. What is F3? 22.5 plus alpha is 0.2. D3 is equal to 26 minus 22.5 will give you the answer for F4. Are you getting 22 units? Are you getting 22 or not? B is the answer. 22. Isn't it? Clear? F3 is, yes, 21, sorry. F3 is 21. It is 21. F3 will be 21. It will be 21. 21. Right. So then you will get the answer as B. Right. Correct. 22 will be the answer. The next question. The sales of cycle in a shop in 4 consecutive months, 1, 2, 3, 4, are given as, that is the demand, actual demand. Sales means the actual demand, N is the period. That is 70, 68, 82 and 95. Exponential smoothing average method with a smoothing factor of 0.4 is used in the forecasting. The expected number of sales in the next month is, it means F5. That is similar question to the previous question. We can find out. First of all, we can find out F1. Now, how it will be solved? There is no demand given. There is no demand forecasted value given for any of the period. So if we want to find out F5, one more formula is there. Alpha into D4 plus alpha into 1 minus alpha. Do you remember that formula? F5 is equal to alpha into D4 plus alpha into 1 minus alpha D3 plus alpha into 1 minus alpha square D2 plus alpha into 1 minus alpha cube D1, like this, using this formula. No forecast given. No. Manas, this is the another way of representing the forecast for any nth period. We can derive this. So F5 will be equal to alpha is 0.4 into D4. What is D4? That is 95 plus 0.4 into 1 minus alpha is 0.6 into D3, that is 82, plus alpha, that is 0.4 into 0.6 square into D2, that is 68, plus 0.4 alpha into 0.6 cube into 70. This will give you F5. Can you solve it? That will give you F5. What is the answer you will be getting? How to derive this? As we know, Fn plus 1 is equal to Fn plus alpha dn minus Fn, isn't it? So that can be written as alpha dn plus plus 1 minus alpha Fn. And this Fn can also be written as this Fn can be written as alpha into dn minus 1 plus 1 minus alpha Fn minus 1. This Fn minus 1 can be written as alpha dn minus 2 plus 1 minus alpha into Fn minus 2 and minus 2 and so on. So if you put these values here, then it will be alpha dn minus 1 into alpha into 1 minus alpha dn minus 2 plus 1 minus alpha Fn minus 2. Fn minus 2 can be written as alpha dn minus 3 plus 1 minus alpha into Fn minus 3 and so on. If you keep on putting these values here, then final expression for Fn plus 1 is alpha dn plus alpha into 1 minus L alpha dn minus 1 plus alpha into 1 minus alpha square dn minus 2 plus so on. This is how we can write. So the answer will be, what is the answer you will be getting? It is around 73. You must be getting 73.52. So 73 will be the answer. B will be the answer. All right. So that is all from my side for this session. I will meet you again for such session. Till then, enjoy, take care, have a good day and a great weekend ahead. Thank you guys. Thank you very much. Take care, stay safe and stay motivated. Thanks a lot.